Your independence is despised and hated. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, your independence is despised and hated. Now I need somebody to drop in the comments and say, don't hate my grind. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, don't hate my grind. Now, anytime a person is independent, they have these three things: a work ethic, a hustle, or a grind. I'm going to say it once again, y'all. Anytime a person is independent, they have these three things, right? Or one of those three things: a work ethic, a hustle, or a grind. All right. And see, that's just something that they won't be able to take away from you. They can despise it, they can hate on it, but they can't take on it. Meaning they cannot take anything from you. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Now, when you are independent, you are self-reliant. You are self-sufficient. You have your own everything. Okay? You have your own everything. Now, I'm going to tell you what you have, right? Maybe you have your own transportation, your own place to live, your own job, your own income, right? Your own purpose, your own everything, okay? Now, let me make sure I make this clear. Just because you don't have a car, or you don't have your place, or you don't have a job right now, listen, tough times fall on everybody. I'm not the one telling you that you're not a man or you're less of a woman because you don't have a car, a place, or this right here. I'm saying once you get to the point to where you're full-fledged, once you get to the point to where you have, made these decisions to get your affairs in order, this is what you should have as an adult, all right? Now, you don't get a cookie for being an adult. I get that, right? But I'm going to call a spade whenever a spade is a spade, okay? And with that being said, everybody is not doing what they need to do as an adult. You got a lot of 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, who are actually 15-year-old in the mind. I'm just being honest. You have some 18, 80-year-olds. You got some 15, 50-year-olds. You got some 14, 40-year-olds. I'm just being honest. All right. But when you have this level of independence, this is when you can really consider yourself as being self-reliant, self-sufficient, and they can't take it away from you. Now, just because you ask for a favor, or just because, you needed something, understand something, y'all. This does not mean that you're not independent. I'll give you a great example. Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy. And when he filed for bankruptcy, he didn't have no money on paper and legally. So what he had to do was ask his rich friends to spot him the money. Now, one may say, well, that means that he asked for a favor, he ain't independent. Not so fast. See, it's about the mentality. His rich friends would have never gave him the millions, all right, if they knew that he was not good for it. Well, what makes you good for it? Your mentality, the connections you have, your resources, what you are connected to, the things that you can do with your brand. See, they knew that he was going to make money off of his name alone, all right? Not including the other assets that he have. You see the difference, y'all, versus a person who always asks for a favor, every other week, who always asking to borrow $20 every other month, who always asking to borrow $50 every other day. That's a difference. Even when you get a loan from the bank, if you utilize that, it does not make you dependent, but if you utilize it the right way, you can still be considered as independent, because it's about your mentality. It's about what you do with the opportunity, what you do with the resource, okay? But without beating the dead horse, y'all, this is why your independence is despised and hated, because even if you ever ask for favors, guess what? It's far and few in between. Meaning, yeah, I probably asked you for a favor last year, but it's done been 5 years now. It's done been 3 years now, right? It's done been 2 years. The point is that that's not something you do every other day. People can't stand that. People cannot stand that. And so, family, you got to realize something. They're going to hate your independence. They're going to hate the fact that you're self-reliant, and they won't be able to stand the fact that you are self-sufficient. Makes sense of what I'm saying? You a made man. And if you a made woman, drop in the comments and say made woman. But for my men, if you a made man, drop in the comments and say made man, all right? But family, we're going to go ahead and get directly into this video. As y'all can see, we are right here in the famous living room, okay? Right in front of the legendary great couch. Anytime I am in front of the legendary gray couch, something legendary gonna be said, and that's just how they go. Y'all drop in the comments and say legendary, all right? Just a little bit about myself, y'all. I've been, doing jujitsu this week. I do Muay Thai one week and then jujitsu the other. Muay Thai one week, jujitsu the other, because I'm just trying to strengthen both, arts, right? But I'll be lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all I was so, man, your boy's shoulder, the shoulder hurt, okay, the back hurt, the neck hurt, my neck and my back, y'all. However, we still getting the video done, okay? I had some breakfast, some turkey bacon, some cheese eggs, some grits with cheese in it, a little salt and pepper in there, y'all, okay, and a little bit of sausage, right? But that's just how my morning went, y'all, and I'm still feeling beat up. I've been going against some brown belts, some purple belts, all right? I've been winning some too now, y'all. Don't get it twisted. I ain't just been getting beat, but that's just a little bit about my day and how I'm doing. Y'all drop in the comments and let me know how y'all doing, what you ate, all this stuff, y'all. It's more than just a message. We a family, okay? And so I'm genuinely concerned. But anyway, y'all, let's get directly into this video, okay? Number one, y'all, first thing is first. Y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. Number one, y'all, the reason why your independence is despised and hated is because you don't need them, okay? You don't need them. You don't. And see, when you don't need a person, it's not even just about financially. You don't need them emotionally. You don't need them mentally. You don't need them, vocationally. You don't need them physically, right? Now, at some point, we're going to need somebody, and that's why I tried to make that clear earlier. You're going to need somebody, y'all. You come in this world as a baby, you're going to leave out this world as a baby. But in the meantime, while you in your prime and while you are able to take care of yourself, you don't need nobody. And I'm not saying to flaunt it and flex it. I don't need you. That's not that type of energy. When you are an independent person, you naturally don't need anyone, right? Naturally. So you take, for instance, let's just say you have a needy child and a child who's naturally independent. Well, that needy child is going to need attention. It's going to need to be told what to do constantly. It's going to need, direction all the time, instruction all the time. But you take that independent child, you tell them what to do one time, you don't got to talk to them ever again. All right. Okay. You got a relationship. Let's just say a man in the relationship is very needy, meaning he needs to be reassured, meaning he needs to, be talked to and all these nice compliments to make him feel better. I'm not saying that's not, needed in certain relationships, but some people are just more needier than others, right? And then you take for the woman, she's not as needy. You give her that reassurance once for the week. She good for the whole week. You give her that, affection for the, for that week. She good for the whole month. I'm not saying that is wrong, but what I'm saying is, y'all, is that when a person, place or thing is not needy, and when they are needy, it shows. All right. And so for you, you're not needy. You're not. And a lot of times people only feel confident when a person needs them. Okay, parents have it bad, right? I'm not saying this is right or wrong once again, but parents have it bad. They always want their kid to need them at some point, and it kind of, shocks them when their kid is going to college, or it shocks them when their kid is getting married, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing for parents, right? But the concept kind of works the same. When a person don't need you, not just financially, but emotionally, right? It kind of does something to you. When a person don't need you mentally, kind of does something to you. They're able to make sound decisions by themselves. They're able to, rely on their emotions without having to be poured into by you or by the next person. So that's very important. When you don't need a person, you kind of make them feel like they don't have no self-worth or even value. Make sense, y'all? It's not something that you're trying to do. It's just a byproduct of being independent. Sorry, I don't need you to hold my hand or babysit me. That's just the way it is. Number two, it's going to be this right here, y'all. The savior complex. The savior complex, okay? And the savior complex is basically a person who gets a high out of saving people, right? Y'all remember the song called with J. Cole, "Don't Save Her, She Don't Wanna Be Saved, Don't Save Her, She Don't Wanna Be Saved." I was all up key on that one. But the point is, y'all, is that when you are a savior, you always want to save people, right? You want to save things. I made a status on social media, and I said that good-hearted people tends to attract broken people, right? And so most times the savior is a person who 9 times out of 10 have a good heart, or they are a person who gets in high off of doing things for people just to keep them in debt, right? It's only 2 people who are the savior. That's a person who's a good-hearted individual, right? And they just love longer than the expiration date or past the expiration date. Or you have a person who gets a high off of people being indebted to them. Well, in this particular situation, y'all, this person gets a high off of you being indebted to them. This is why they feel, or this is why they have the savior complex, right? They get a sense of validation of, yeah, I did this for such and such. Yeah, I gave this person this, right? They're able to talk about it amongst others. They're able to throw it up in your face, right? And so the savior complex comes from when a person, they're looking for a sense of self-worth. They're looking for validation. They're looking for attention. They're looking for it. So the way that they go about it is, I'm going to just get this person over here $100, right? I'm going to get this person over here $50. And it's not coming from a sincere place. They're just doing it because they want someone to praise them, right? It's almost like a person trying to buy your love, buy your loyalty, buy your respect. And none of that stuff can be bought. It has to be earned. It has to be showed through action. It has to be displayed through real life situations and circumstances. I'm not just going to respect you because you gave me $1 million. As you can see, people in the industry pay millions to people and talk about them like a dog. Right? People in the industry do business amongst one another and still talk about each other about like a dog. So I don't care about your money. Your money won't buy my respect. Your money won't buy my loyalty. Your money won't buy my love. It has to be genuine, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say it gotta be real. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say it gotta be real, right? But that's the number 2 thing, the savior complex. Number 3 is gonna be this right here, y'all. Your independence is a threat to their internal value, right? Let me say it louder, y'all, for my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Your independence is a threat to their internal value, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say, go find yourself. Yeah. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, go find yourself. See, the reality is a person who, gains value by what they do for people, a person who gains a certain level of self-worth for what they buy people or for where they're able to take people and give people, they don't have no true value. The only value they have is from what's on the inside of another person and from what another person brings to the marketplace, right? Let me say that once again. From what they have or from what another person have on the inside of them and from what that same person has to bring to the marketplace. In other words, their value is within the gift that another person has. It's not within their gift. It's not within their mentality. It's not within their heart. It's not within their aura or their essence. It's not within them. The gift is on the inside of another person. So you take, for instance, a manager or somebody who believes in someone who does music, right? And the person who does music is very talented. They can sing, they can dance, they can rap. They are at heart true entertainer. Have anybody ever heard of Sammy Davis Jr.? A true entertainer. I'm talking about the brother can sing, the brother can dance, the brother can play instruments, the brother can play. I mean, he can do everything. I think he even can tap dance. He was a true entertainer, right? So let's just say a person is a true entertainer. They can do everything. Well, that manager is going to either A, live through them, or B, be secretively jealous of them, right? But when they begin to gain that internal value from the artist, it's because they don't have anything to bring to the marketplace. All they have is in them, right? They are believing in the gift of that artist. They are believing in the gift of that singer, rapper, or the overall entertainer. You follow what I'm saying? In the moment that person says, you know what, I'm going to take my talents over here to, could have been records, or I'm going to take my talents over here to hopscotch, records, whatever the case is. And whenever they take their talent somewhere else, guess what? It threatens their own internal value, because the value was never within them. It was within the person that they were managing. Make sense what I'm saying, y'all? And this is why your independence is despised and hated, because they are trying to live through you, and they're secretively envious of you simply because you are independent. Make sense, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Number 4, your independence empowers you. Your independence empowers you. You ever seen a woman who, she got her own money, she got her own bag, she have her own stuff, transportation, crib, everything, right? And I'm not saying this in a bad way. You can tell she has a different level of independence, right? And just because a woman is independent and have her own stuff going on, it don't mean that she's automatically masculine too. I want to say that. For a lot of women, it does make them masculine, but some women are still feminine, right? But the point is independence gives a person a certain level of confidence. It makes them see themselves different, right? They have a different walk. They got a different strut in their shoulders. You can just tell when a person is confident by how they walk into the room. They don't walk into the room with their head down, slugging and drugging and, draggish. No, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Where's the meeting? They are very confident, and this is what you have. So that's why it's despised and hated. They don't want to see you empowered, right? You ever notice when you are gifted and you don't know you're gifted, people can't wait to tell you, oh, how gifted you are, how great you are, how blessed you are. But when you're gifted and you know you're gifted, it's like people don't want to tell you that you're gifted. You know why, y'all? Because they don't want to see you naturally empowered. They only want to see you empowered by the battery they place in your back. And so whenever they take that battery that they placed in your back out your back, they expect for you to power down. And that's another form of control, right? Somebody drop in the comments and say you won't control me. But again, your independence, all right, empowers you. Number 5, y'all, the last thing is going to be this right here. Freedom. Freedom, 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 y'all. Drop that, just that one word. Y'all drop that down below in the comments and say freedom, all right? Now, freedom is very important to have, okay? Because when you have freedom, you take control of your own life, all right? Not only do you take control of your own life, but you become the boss of your own life, which leaves no space for anybody else to be the boss of your own life. All right. Somebody drop in the comments and say, I'm the boss, because you are, right? And so whenever you have this level of control over your life and this decision making over your life, it makes a lot of people pissed, especially when you have something that they want to control, especially when you have something that they can't stand that you got because they want a piece of it, right? Understand something, y'all. That's freedom. When you have the ability to make decisions over your life, you don't got to get up when they tell you to get up. You don't got to lay down when they tell you to lay down. When you can live life on your own terms, that's true freedom. And you know what gives you freedom? Independence. You think about people who are signed to a label and then think about people who are independent. The person who's signed to a label, yeah, they may make more money on paper, but do they get to keep more money? Yeah, they may have a bigger machine and they're very famous, right? But now you got to do it the way they want you to. But you take a label who's independent or an artist who's independent, guess what? They're going to see much more money because all the profit goes to them. And then on top of that, yeah, they may not be as famous because of the machine, but they still have their own platform. It's not about being the biggest person in the world. It's just about, influencing your people, influencing your sheep, right? you can get comfortable with 200,000 followers or 2 million followers versus their 20 million or 200 million. But the point is that you have freedom. You can do it on your own terms. And on top of that, not even about the followers, but you get to present yourself to your followers or to your fan base or your audience the way you want to present yourself. You don't got to get on here looking like the gingerbread man. You can do whatever you want to do. If you like to be earthly, you can be earthly. If you like to be godly, you can be godly, right? I'm sure some of y'all seen that Kai Cenat lost a deal just because he was speaking about Jesus Christ in his video, right? Now, the great thing for that young brother is that he's not signed to anybody. He's just a streamer, and he does his thing. He makes his own money. That's freedom. If I don't want to, listen, if you don't want me because I talk about Jesus, so be it. So be it. But you don't stop the show. You don't stop my money. That's freedom. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. But anyway, y'all, your independence is despised and hated. Here's how you know. Number one, y'all, you don't need them. Number two, they have a savior complex. Number three, your independence is a threat to their internal value. Number four, your independence empowers you. And number five, it gives you freedom. Okay, listen, y'all already know how we do. As we conclude this video, y'all be sure to go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. All right, y'all be sure to join the membership and go meet your tribe. Be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy if you want to talk to me one-on-one directly. All right, have a conversation with me. Y'all book that session. Of course, y'all can get a book or check out any one of my Yes Sir t-shirts, y'all. It's all up to you. But I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.